Hi everyone and welcome to Mental Wellsprings. My name is Joy Richardson and I'm a mental health therapist here at Grace Lee Counseling Services. We're located in East Stroudsburg. Welcome back to our newest series, the Wolf series. So I want us to recap just a little bit. So in our previous video, I explained that the Wolf series was going to be focusing on healthy foundations. So I kind of wanted to reference it just a little bit in case you didn't get to see the previous video. So in the previous video, we discussed a little bit of the backstory of the three little pigs. We discussed Baby Pig, who built his house with straw. We discussed Middle Piggy, who built his house with sticks, and we discussed the eldest Piggy, who built his house with brick. And the reason I told the story of the three little pigs is because I want us to understand that it's so important for us to have a healthy foundation. It has to be strong. It has to be basically like bricks. So I want us to look at what strong foundations look like in various areas of our lives. So today in particular, we are going to be talking about boundaries. So boundaries are so important. Sometimes I feel like boundaries, when people hear boundaries, they have like this misconception that boundaries are meant to like keep people out. Boundaries are meant to control people. Boundaries are meant to be harsh or cold, but they truly aren't. Boundaries are honestly meant to keep us safe. Boundaries are meant to be like a guide to help people to understand what our needs are and what our expectations are and how we kind of like expect to navigate situations, relationships, and like scenarios in life. I want us to be empowered to understand that it is okay to say no, that saying no sends a message to those around us. Saying that I do not have the capacity sends a message to a person that helps them to be able to understand what your needs are and what your expectations are. I want us to really be able to drive home the importance that today that no is like, it's a full sentence. No is like a direct statement. No helps you to be able to say specifically what it is that you need to say and to know that like no is enough. But I kind of want us to understand that the boundaries, again, like I said, they keep us safe, but it also helps us to be able to not overwhelm ourselves. Boundaries are really, I feel like, something that we're not always taught that is very important for us to be able to exercise. But I want us to be able to jump into kind of like some effective phrases that could be utilized to help us to be able to share a message with a person. So I'm going to give you some examples that I have listed here. To be able to say, I'm not comfortable with you touching me. That's polite, it's respectful, it's super direct, right? You're not allowed to talk to me like that. Another example is I do not have the capacity for this conversation at this time. That's another super direct one. I need for you to speak to me with respect or I'm going to walk away. Sometimes just simple statements like that gives a person clear directives on what it is that you want them to do or need from them, excuse me. I also empower you that when you say no or when you express your boundary to a person, that you don't feel the need to have to explain to them why you're saying no or why you're putting that boundary in place, because that could allow for the invitation for a person to question you or to kind of give you pushback on that boundary. And especially if you struggle with boundaries, you don't want to welcome a person in to kind of like allow for your boundaries to become loose and then you give in to the very thing that you were trying to avoid. Also, it's really important to sometimes be very short, sweet, and respectful and direct with your boundaries, because when we're not that way, sometimes those lack of boundaries could offer up an invitation for disrespect, for lack of a better phrase. So like I said, there are very short, simple, and sweet things that you could say to people that will allow for them to understand. Again, boundaries are going to keep you well, they're going to keep you healthy, and they're going to keep you within your capacity. And again, like that clear communication. So I empower everybody to be like that third little piggy. Again, you might feel like you're like the first little piggy. My foundation is built on straw. I wasn't raised with boundaries. I don't know what it looks like to be effective in that area. Maybe you kind of have a little bit of practice. I would empower you to literally stand in the mirror and find like those phrases and literally say them aloud to yourself, practice with your best friend, with a family member that can kind of help you. Because again, when you start to kind of stand up for yourself and you give those boundaries and you make those statements and you realize that, wow, like my no holds power, you're going to get more comfortable with it. But I also want to give you that a little bit like of a disclaimer that when you have entered into like relationships with people, whether it's with a significant other, whether it's with friendships, whether it's with colleagues, anything in life, if we didn't have like that strong, solid foundation, there is a chance that you may receive a little bit of pushback or a lot of pushback because a person is used to you not speaking up and saying, no, I'm sorry, I can't do X, Y, Z. So like I said, take those baby steps, practice. And each time you practice and you set that boundary, it may make it a little bit easier for you. So thank you so much for tuning in today and listening and learning a little bit about boundaries. And I hope to see you guys at the next video. We'll be surprising you with the next topic of discussion, but please continue to tune in. Again, my name is Joy Richardson, and I'm speaking from Grace Lee Counseling Services. Please feel free to reach out to us if you have any concerns, if you're interested in therapy of any type. We're always here to support you. Thank you and have a wonderful day.